Oh dear, I have to talk, don't I? Just give me a second. Right, sorry about that. Nice to meet you all. I'm Elliot. I'd like to, well, tell you that I now exist as a VTuber. If there are anything that you want to talk about, like for example the time I said February wrong. Oh, well, might as well tell you how I painted a model. While I may be a VTuber and I won't be able to see myself, normally, everything that you need can be seen all around me right now, and this is all for a Rainbow Warrior. But don't worry, if there's any paints you're missing here that you can't get access to, you can just simply build up with some other similar paints. First, I start with a simple primer of Abaddon Black by hand. I gave the weather a 3 out of 10 on the Berry Delight scale. Doesn't seem like much, but that's a lot of rain. Next I applied 2 thin coats of Cantor Blue all over the entire model, as this will be the base for our armour. Apologies for the camera going in and out of focus, but next up is a simple coat of Iron Hand Steel for the gun, some parts of the backpack, and even all the little belts and buckles of your torso. Next up is a coat of Null all over the entire model. You may have to water it down first before applying it though. It does give off a little bit of a better texture when watered down. Next up, I did some lighter blue all over the armour, as just a little light edge. It makes it all a bit fancy and sharp in points. Oh god, I just reviewed the video now! Oh no, next up was Rinfang Steel. Oh god! Oh god, I messed up the footage! It was so low quality! Next up is the helmet. I have, done the spectrum points as Caliban Green, just only at the edges. Next up was Mephiston Red, right just above where we put the Caliban Green. Just remember to do a couple layers, just so you can have a full colour. Then follow up with a few layers of Evil Sun Scarlet, just as a little extra brightness to the red. Next up is a layer of Avalanche Sunset, just right between the Evil Sun Scarlet. Next up is some Uriel Yellow, just right between the Avalanche Sunset as a final little texture piece. And of course finally, the single white line of Chorus White. At this point, I also got some onto the pauldron, so I can do the icon. Don't worry if you're making any errors, just fix up with neat little bit of Cantor Blue. Well, the idea of a Space Marine helmet for the Rainbow Warriors being the only one with the actual prism showing, I think a good idea to be attaching them to like an arm or a spare shoulder pad or even the leg would be make a little extra shine to them and give them a little bit of identity, you know? Next up are the eyes. What I started off with here was Calidor Sky, but please make sure just to breathe in, stay focused, make sure you are well grounded before applying this, because it is on a very small place and I'll make sure that you get it right. And next up is give me a second here. Much better. Next up is some Lothern Blue, just on the tiny highlights for the eyes. Be sure to do some tiny dots, that's all you need. That's everything, but please don't forget to stay around for a Goblin Green tutorial. Next up is the texture paints. They tend to dry longer, so this is why you finish them last. Anyway, this one you're going to be using is Armageddon Dunes, and there's a reason why we're using that for Goblin Green. Oh god, not again! Oh god, I've done it again! Okay, Karanja's Green. Apply the contrast all over the entire thing of Armageddon Dunes, okay? Trust me, it will make a lot of sense once you see the ending result. Next up is a dry brush of Warpstone Glow. You don't need to do this part, as Karandra's Green can easily mimic Warpstone Glow. But a light dry brush of Moot Green is required all over the base texture. Almost done, a super light dry brushing of Dawn Yellow over some of that base texture. Should have done this when the texture paint dried first. Using a mold line remover, scrape over bits of the texture paint that fell over the edges of the base when it dried. Then repair whatever remains with some Karandra's Green and you're done. Almost finished. Do a few final coats of Abaddon Black or whatever paints you use over all the base rim to make sure it's looking nice and lovely. And of course a final application of Verdia Velt and then you're done. And that's it. Super simple but really lovely to look at. I hope everyone loved watching this tutorial and I loved making it too. And I hope to do more of this kind of stuff. And this video is also dedicated so that I can show that people with my disability called developmental coordination disorder or dyspraxia or even DCD can actually do something as beautiful as this. I appreciate you all for waiting to the end of this. Thank you so much for watching and until next time, probably even when I'm streaming, if I get around to that. Oh, you're wanting to know about my backstory? I can't seem to remember much of it. I might have to ask Dad. Trust me when I say it right now, once I get a goddamn border, a background that looks proper, this will be seeming a lot more professional. Oh dear god, my debut isn't starting well.